People who randomly packed up and left everything behind. What made you do it? I disappeared on Christmas Day. Just walked out during family dinner while everyone was laughing and arguing about politics. No goodbyes, no notes. Just grabbed my pre-packed backpack from the trunk of my car and abandoned my vehicle in my parents' driveway with the keys still in the ignition. Everyone, including the police, assumed I was dead for almost 2 years. I was 28, engaged to my high school girlfriend, Megan, working my father's construction business, and secretly planning my suicide. Not dramatically, I just couldn't breathe anymore. Every morning, I'd wake up with this crushing weight, like I was already buried. My father had my whole life planned. Take over the business, marry Megan, build a house on the family property, have sons to continue the legacy. I smiled and nodded for years, hollowing out inside. My engagement ring for Megan sat in my drawer for 6 months because I couldn't bring myself to give it to her, even though everyone expected it. The breaking point wasn't dramatic. Christmas morning, I found my old journal from high school. I'd written about wanting to see the northern lights, learn photography, maybe live in Alaska someday. Simple dreams. Dreams I had completely forgotten about. I sat there holding this journal, while downstairs my family was setting the table with the same china we'd used every Christmas, talking about the same topics, living the same exact life on repeat. I searched one-way tickets on my phone, found one to Anchorage leaving that night, and clicked purchase before I could think. $827 I didn't really have. I threw essentials in my backpack, took the $4,000 I'd saved for Megan's ring, and went downstairs for Christmas dinner like everything was normal. During dinner, my father started talking about which neighborhoods would be suitable for my starter home with Megan. My mother chimed in about wedding venues. Megan squeezed my hand under the table, and I just stood up, walked out the front door. Nobody followed me because they thought I was just getting some air. I got in my car, drove it back to the house, grabbed my backpack, and started walking to the bus station. By midnight, I was on a plane. The first months were brutal. Anchorage in January is not forgiving. I stayed in a hostel, then found work at a fishing operation. I was horrible at it. My hands bled constantly from the cold and the work. I shared a room with 4 other guys in this rundown house, showered once a week if lucky, but every night I'd look up at that vast sky, and something inside me was finally quiet. I didn't contact anyone, not because I wanted to be cruel, but because I knew one word from my mother's voice would drag me back into that life. I needed the complete severance. I learned later that they filed missing persons reports. My face was on flyers. They dragged the lake near our house. My disappearance destroyed my parents. Megan moved away. I became the local tragedy. After 6 months in Alaska, I met Kira, a photographer documenting climate change. She taught me photography. We traveled to remote villages. I learned to capture the northern lights just like I'd dreamed. I started feeling human again. After a year, I sent a postcard to my sister, just I'm alive with no return address. 2 years in, I finally called home. My mother answered and just sobbed. I expected rage, but there was only relief. My father refused to speak to me for another year. Megan had married someone else. It's been 5 years now. I still live in Alaska, working as a wilderness guide and photographer. I visit home once a year. It's uncomfortable and healing simultaneously. My father still barely speaks to me. My mother hugs me too tight. Nobody fully understands. Was it selfish? Absolutely. Would I do it differently? Never. Because the most important thing I've learned is that sometimes saving yourself looks like destroying everything else. The person who walked out that Christmas day was dying inside. The person writing this is imperfect, but alive. I'm not saying everyone should vanish, but if you're reading this wondering if your life is all there is, if you're suffocating under expectations, remember, you can always walk out the door. The cost is enormous. The aftermath is messy, but on the other side might be the air your lungs have been searching for all along.